Hello, everyone. We're here today to talk about yet another video game. God, they're just flying out the blocks this year.
It's true.
Um, I was there in December going, oh, there's not really that much coming out next year, and here we are. Within 2 weeks, we're talking about two games. Um, this week we are talking about the recently released Helldivers 2, which was something that was on neither of our radar.
No.
Um, for a long while, and then it came out and got a little bit of traction. People were starting to talk about it, and I think it what's made this game a success has been the memeability of it. I don't know if that's the right word. The content
Yeah.
creation around it, I
I think
guess.
it's a similar thing with Baldur's Gate 3 because there's a lot of funny
Yes.
videos about that, and I think that got a lot of people into it. I think it's a similar sort of thing.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen anything from Helldivers 2 and you don't know what it is, because we didn't, it is a sequel to a game that came out about 10 years ago, I think.
It was a while, wasn't it?
And that first game was a sort of a top-down sort of twin stick shooter, which had a really good community, was really popular, and still is played quite a lot to this day.
Mm.
But this new version, they've tweaked it slightly, in that it's now a third-person looter shooter esque game, um, where you and up to three other people sort of board a little spaceship and you get thrown into battlefields where you have to fight either big bug boys or scary machines. Um, and it's constantly online, so it's one of those games where if you've got no internet, then I'm afraid you ain't going to be able to play it.
Yeah, save your money.
Um, yeah, but it is, it works quite well within the community because you're all doing the same thing and you're all building towards the same goal. Everyone sort of chips in with these percentages because you have to push these invasions back off these planets. And there's little things where it tells you how much of a percentage you've liberated of this planet, because you're spreading managed democracy, which is,
It's true.
it's managed democracy. So make of that what you will.
Mhm.
It's very Starship Troopers esque. It's very
Yeah, it's very
satirical.
satirical, isn't it? Yeah.
Um, it's great. It pokes a lot of fun at war in general and sort of the politics around it. But at the heart of it, it is a fun shooty bang bang game,
Yes.
which is very satisfying to play. Um, and we didn't know anything about it, and then a friend came around to mine and was like, oh, I'm thinking about getting it, and I was like, oh, and then I got it, and then I said to Liam, maybe you should get it, and we've been playing
Mm.
basically non-stop for three
I'm
days
very
straight.
easily peer
So
pressured, so I just gave in.
yes, yes, exactly. Because I think we'd spoken about it before the friend came around, and we were like, oh, but we've
Yeah,
got
I was aware of it, and I was like, well, we're never going to play with anyone, are we? So what's even the point?
yeah.
I was
So
like,
there
it's
was a
just
bit of
not for
risk,
me.
but we've committed now, and you can play it by yourself solo. There are some
Mm.
sort of there are difficulty levels which can be played solo, and they're fine. If you do the right ones, they're fine. You can jump on, play a couple of missions, and leave again. It's pretty harmless. But the main fun comes of joining with friends, playing with friends, and
Yeah,
just running around. Um, and we've
killing
had
each
a
other.
lot of fun with it. Yes,
Yeah.
friendly fire is a thing, so you can throw down these bombs, these big missile strikes, and if you don't tell your friend where it's going, you will likely kill them. Which just adds to the. It just adds to the. It adds to everything. It adds to the ridiculousness of the game, to the sort of
Yeah.
the satire of being this disposable cannon fodder soldier that just dies and dies
Mhm.
again.
Yeah.
Um, and it's great. You've played, I think, a little bit more than me because you're a couple of levels higher. But how have you found it effectively the past 3 days playing this game?
Yeah, we have been very consistent so far with playing it
Mm,
all together, which is fun. But yeah, I'm generally surprised at how much I've enjoyed it. It's all I can think about now. I'm going to bed like,
mhm.
what should I get next? What
Yeah.
upgrade can I afford next? What should I aim for
Mhm.
next? Um, and that is a surprise. I really didn't think I was like a looter shooter kind of boy.
Mhm.
But I think Kill the Justice League and now this have certainly changed my mind on that. And I think I would be open to getting more in the future now.
Mhm.
But yeah, this is a lot of fun. I do like the satire of it. Right from the kind of tutorial they have you do at the start, just to learn the basics. There's a lot of
Mhm.
humor in that, and you get a sense of what the game's going for straight away, which I appreciated. And I do think if it was just it took itself seriously, I don't think I'd be as into it.
Yeah, like Destiny, where it's just a bit too like, oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So there is like the memeability, and like Destiny, you could meme originally with the whole Peter Dinklage thing, but they changed that, so they took the memes out of it. So you know, they made their game worse. So yeah, I say that having never played a second of Destiny in my life. I don't know if it's good or not, or the second one. I have a friend who plays Destiny 2 all the time, so I guess it's good. But yeah, this one just very much appealed to my sense of humor straight away. And I don't have as much fun just on my own, or if I'm playing with like a rando. Apart from one time, a guy did leave his mic on, and it was him and his son, and it was very sweet and wholesome. And I've only been betrayed once by someone who shot me right at the end, which didn't.
Yeah.
I was unspeakably angry. I said some things I'm not proud of.
Most people playing this game, I think, and you look at the community online, most are great and they're very wholesome and they're very
There's
like.
been one time I've dealt with an idiot. All the other
Yeah.
times they've been fine. They might have gone off and done their own thing or something. Like I've always been like the higher level one when someone else has come in.
Yes.
So I feel like they just don't try anything with me now because I have a rocket launch that will just kill you straight away. So maybe there's that as well. But I have found the community seems to be pretty good. And looking through Reddit and everything, I don't look through Reddit ever. But now I'm looking through the Helldivers Reddit, and everyone's like, "Oh, can anyone help me get this trophy?" And they're all like, "Yeah, this is my gamer tag. Let's go on together and get it." And it's just very wholesome. And I will probably be diving in to try to get some trophies like that eventually. But yeah, I've had a great time with it. I think the combat is very satisfying. It's weird because it's not like you improve your health necessarily or you improve your stats.
No, all your weapons, really.
Yeah, it's not like you're leveling up like a Dark Souls kind of S game or anything like that. But you do feel like, oh yeah, I'm getting better, I'm getting stronger.
Yeah.
Even though you're technically not really. You can buy kind of one level up better armor. You can get a perk that's like health increases for your party and stuff. But I don't know if it's like a massive thing. And yet it does still feel like you're growing. And I find that very, very satisfying in games. That's one of the things I love about Dark Souls. You know, it's great fun, like, you know, finishing the game and going to New Game Plus and really seeing how much stronger you've gotten because you can kill the first boss in 2 hits and you're like, yes. And I feel that way about Helldivers because I look at some of the things it wants you to do and like, oh yeah, look at like level 9 difficulty, like that seems so weird.
Yeah.
But I do feel like if we kept playing, kept unlocking all the weapons that will kill the big bosses in 1 hit, you are going to probably get to that point as long as you kind of keep playing.
Yeah, I think because obviously a lot of it is, you know, you drop in and you do a mission. There's loads of different mission types, but the real challenge is when you get swarmed by machines or bugs, and I think it's how you deal with that swarming and what weapons you have and how you deploy them. It's a lot more strategy and tactics involved than just sort of running around, which at the start we were probably doing a lot more of just run, shoot, and then hope for the best. Whereas we're now going into these going, right, if we go here, we'll put these down, we'll do this, and we'll do that.
We're trying to like pick different weapons to all come in with. There's like a whole range of different things, like different orbital strikes and stuff. So I think we are thinking a bit more tactically now. I'm still very bad when I'm swarmed. I will just die. I waste all our lives. But I think that's sometimes part of the fun. I enjoy being carried.
It is. It's fun because sometimes you'll split off in different directions, and because it's all over, we're all speaking to each other on headsets. You'll hear Liam scream, and then all of a sudden it says, "Player can be respawned," and Liam will have died, and he'll be in the middle of nowhere. We're like, "Where have you gone?"
Yeah, those are the moments I do live for. It's just like the and then it's like so and so has died. Like, like there is a lot of comedy value in it, and you know, your teammates will do things you disagree with and make calls you disagree with, but I don't get pissed off. And I feel like if it was any other game, I probably really would. I'm like, you're not taking this seriously, but the game doesn't want you to take it seriously. Yes. Yeah. Like, oh god, me and my sister really fell out when we played Overcooked. So yeah, I enjoy that side of it, I think. And I think it kind of hits a nail on the head in regards to, you know, it's a difficult game. It's really hard at times. We hadn't even gotten to we hadn't even tried a hard mode level, I don't think. But it still isn't frustrating and it's still kind of fun. And I think
because you realize like
you can get there.
halfway through you're like, oh god, we're not going to make it out of this, we're not going to do this, and then the fun is just seeing how long you can last.
It's
one that we were playing
just as fun, I think, resigning yourself to your fate. I just find that really funny when they just give up.
Well, there
our
was
friend
one where
we
the
played
two
with
of
just
us had
jumped into
died.
a bomb, and I just found it hilarious.
We couldn't come back. There were no respawns left. There was a timer of 2 minutes. He was surrounded by bugs. He just jumped into
the nearest bomb, and he's in bits. And I just find that hilarious, and that's the kind of stuff that I do remember. So I love that about the game. I love the attitude it kind of takes to playing. And if you really do want to get through it, you could probably, if you scroll through all the planets enough, you could probably find like a party of really strong players that you can just join.
Yes.
And they can kind of carry you through if you want to, as you're still learning and leveling and stuff.
Yeah, they do. You can do quick matches as well. So in theory, you can, if you don't know what you want to do, you can just go to the map and press square or whatever it is on the computer, and you can just get matched with other people that are playing.
And I think the main currency that you use to kind of buy new weapons and stuff, new upgrades, I think they're very, very generous with that, with how much you get in every mission. So if you just wanted to like grind and get, on the easiest level possible again and again and again, so you have enough to buy like a really good weapon, it gives you that option, which I think is really nice as well. And I think there's going to be more enemy types eventually added, which will add some variety and spice to it. I definitely enjoy, there's like bugs and robots at the minute, essentially. And I do enjoy the bugs a lot more. I find them more satisfying to kill. I think the robots are just at a base level quite hard, or harder anyway. But it's still a lot of fun to have with them. But there's a huge kind of variety of different things you have to do, whether it's just, kill this number of these things, or activate a tower somewhere. But it's not like, it doesn't feel like, oh, this is just, Far Cry in space or something. It does feel kind of exciting, and you can just, there's an element of discovery to it as well. It doesn't just tell you where everything is. Sometimes you have to find the thing you have to kill. There are always like optional things you can go and do throughout the map as well, because it gives you like 40 minutes for most of these levels every time. So there's plenty of room to kind of look around and collect materials to continue leveling up and stuff, which I do very much appreciate the freedom it gives you. And so does my cat in the background, because it's just found a hairband that it's playing with, if you can hear that. I'm genuinely surprised at how much I've had fun with this game so far.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing, isn't it? I think we kind of got it and went, oh yeah, we'll play a little bit, and then we'll probably just put it down. But again, 3 days on, and we're still here, and we'll probably keep going as much as we can. I think they do intend to add new content sort of as it goes, because I don't think they expected it to be, the developer didn't expect for it to be this big. And there are certainly issues around that as well, because I know a lot of people have server issues.
It's very early days Fall Guys server issues.
Yes.
Like not expecting it to be as popular as it was.
Yeah. So I'm expecting that to get resolved. There's a few things that I'd like to add in as well. I think there's, every time you go into a mission, you have to click what things you want to bring with you. I'd like an ability to just put that in and then not have to worry about doing that. But there's like very small quality of life things. The overall base game and how you play and the story and everything is there, and everything that comes next I think is more of a bonus than a necessity, which is good.
I think my main thing is I would like more like base weapon variety, I guess. I feel like there's not that many chances to get new guns that aren't like things you have to like particularly summon in. Or like actually spend more in-game currency to get. I would like a bit more range for that. And normally the stuff that you have to grind to unlock is worse than the ones they just give you at the start of the game. Which feels a bit like, what's the point of that then? So I'm hoping they kind of maybe revisit.
So there's like an element of a battle pass. There is a battle pass situation in this. So the base game is 35 quid anyway, and then you get a standard free battle pass, which is I think nine tiers, and then you can unlock a premium one, which is 1,000 credits, which equates to about I think £8 in their store. And to unlock those, you earn medals, doing things, doing missions, doing certain objectives, and that can be quite grindy to kind of get there, especially when you keep going down. The numbers get higher and higher. But you can't buy those medals, so there's no element of you can buy it to unlock everything. You still have to play the game to unlock it, but a lot of weapons you can unlock are in that battle pass, and some of them are in the purchasable battle pass as well. So it's not quite pay to win, but at the same time, it's not just cosmetics only behind a paywall. Which, you know, some people will have an issue with. You're not doing PvP, so it's not like you're making yourself better against other people you're playing against. It's all for like the cause, all for the, you know, the mission of getting.
I think that's the main difference as well. I think if it was like you were fighting other online people, I probably would stop playing by now because they'd just be better at it than me.
Yeah, definitely. And it's,
I think that's the thing. That's why I could never get into Fortnite, because like I joined so late. Everyone who was playing it had played it for ages and were really good, and I could never live long enough to be like learn the game. And I was like, I'm just never going to.
Yeah, it's like you know, like Call of Duty Warzone and Apex Legends as well. Like if you even if you started and then you fell off for like a week, you've gone, you've missed the boat. It's just kept going. Whereas with this, because you're fighting against the computer the whole time. I mean, they might change that up in different modes down the line, but the minute you're just fighting against the computer, it's a lot easier to just jump back in and not have to worry. Which is good, because then you could be paired with somebody that is a higher level that knows what they're doing, and you can just tag along with them, or you can have someone that's a lower level than you, and you can explore together. Which is, you know, it's a really good sort of community atmosphere to it, which is strange. You don't really get that in a lot of games, and you can see that in the online discourse as well, because a lot of people at the minute, this game's only on PC and PlayStation. And I see so many people being like, PlayStation and Xbox fans being like, "Oh, bring it to Xbox so we can have more people to fight against the bugs and join the fight." And it's so nice to see a game that's sort of bridged that divide, and that very rarely happens. And for you know, considering the industry is going, well, it was at a time going more and more separate. Seems to be changing slightly now, but it was getting more separate, and there was more anger towards each side for silly reasons, for you know, for reasons that don't make sense. But for a game to bridge that and wanting more people to enjoy it is a nice thing to see. And it's been so long since I've sort of felt this. The last time I think there was a game that sort of brought this much unity was, I say that, but Fallout 76 is my example. I know a lot of people didn't like that when that launched, but the people that were in that community were very positive and were very helpful to one another, and it was a very nice community to be in. It wasn't, you know, from the outside people were like throwing shit at it and whatever, but the actual community for it was great, and it seems like this is going the same way, which is fun. You know, more games should be like that, like Animal Crossing when that came out during the pandemic, and everyone was sharing tips and joining islands. Like,
no game has ever come out at a more perfect time than Animal Crossing.
It really has.
They couldn't have predicted like how perfect timing was.
That's really what happened. That's really what started the pandemic.
Literally, the month the world ended, Animal Crossing came out after 7 years of waiting for it.
Yeah,
it was delightful. My nan's just got Animal Crossing.
This is the same thing.
It's very, very wholesome.
Just got.
Yeah, she got a Switch for Christmas. She got very excited.
That's very wholesome. But yes, I mean, you know, Helldivers 2. We're going to wrap this video up now because we both want to go back and play some.
I've got
because you know we are our fingers are triggering away. We just need to get in there. But yeah, have you got any other thoughts on the game? Anything you want to end with?
I think you shouldn't judge a game by its cover, because I did, and I was like, I completely wrote this off as like, yeah. And I get, you know, games are getting more and more expensive, and they're just going to get more and more expensive. Yes. You know, PS6 and whatever they call the next Xbox games are going to be like 80 quid or something, I'm sure. Even though it's just going to be download only. But I understand that it's like it is a risk and an investment and stuff. But I think this is showing me I need to be a lot more open to what type of games I'm more willing to try. Like even I'm big on the Soulsborne games now, and never in a million years did I think I was ever going to get into those.
No.
And I gave them a try and ended up really enjoying them, and now I'm like obsessed. And Elden Ring's like one of the best games ever made. That's what Helldivers 2 has taught me so far. Will that continue? I don't know. It's only been 3 days. It's still, you know, we're still in the honeymoon phase of Helldivers 2. You know, give it a couple of weeks, maybe no one will be playing. I can't go on others, and everything's gone horribly wrong. But for now, I am enjoying being, you know, I'll be like, I'm not really sure about this game. I'll play it like, I'm not really sure about this. I'll be like super anticipating a game like, I'm gonna love this. I get it. I love it. So it has been nice to get a game that I was like, maybe. and ended up being obsessed with it. So I've enjoyed that from Helldivers 2, a game that's finally like really surprised me with my opinion about it, whether it's positive or negative. It's a surprise and a welcome one.
Yeah, I think that's fair. You know, it is a big risk when people have got, say, 50 quid and they're not sure whether they want to, you know, it's a very big risk to put it in a game that is digital. And you know, even if because, you know, if you buy a game physically, you don't like it, you can return it or you can trade it in for, you know, not as much as you paid for it, but you'll still get something out of it. Whereas for a game that's digital like this one, it was only 35. Well. Yeah, only £35. You know, it's still a good chunk of money to a lot of people. So to put that into a risk of, oh, I don't know if I'm going to like it. Am I going to download it, buy it, pay it in, play it for five minutes, then put it away? You know, I've done that before with games where I've spent money and played it and gone, oh wow, never mind. And then
I did that with Cyberpunk.
Yeah, exactly. So you know, there are things where there is the risk. So it's up to you. If you've got if you can afford to take those risks, then I would 100% say take those risks. You know, PS Plus and Game Pass are good ways of somewhat negating those risks because they're not as expensive.
Yeah, they've both introduced a lot of games.
To play. Yeah, so you know, unfortunately, this game isn't on any of those yet, but that's not to say that it won't be. There are other games like Power World that recently came out. I gave that a go because that was on Game Pass. That's fine.
This is a type of game that does feel right for PS Plus.
It wouldn't surprise me if they
future. It's like Fall Guys was when that launched, and like at the moment, what's it called? The Foam Stars one.
Foam Stars, yeah.
I think that kind of game. I think they will put on there.
Because you need PS Plus to play online anyway, so it makes sense for the game to be signed, including that. So it wouldn't surprise me if in a couple of months, you know, maybe over the summer, it does get added onto that because they might want to, the player base might get smaller. They might want to include, you know, bring more people in. But yeah, there are ways you can try and negate the worry. Watch some people on YouTube. You know, there are some great people out there that stream these games. There's loads of content on TikTok and Twitter. So there's loads of stuff you can find just to feel it out. You know, if you've got a reviewer you trust, or you know, some industry channels that you trust that have played this, you know, always seek out their opinion of the ones that you think. If you agree with the opinions of the people, you're most likely going to enjoy what they're playing.
I never would have played Dredge, but I watched PlayStation Access, my hype about it. I was like, okay, I'll give that a go, and I adored it.
And then you played it, and I went, oh, I might give it a go then. And then I played it, and I really enjoyed it. So that's how it works. And hopefully we're doing that for you. You know, hopefully somebody watching this will go, I'll get Helldivers too.
Maybe we'll see you on the battlefield, and
maybe we will. Maybe we will see you. Maybe we'll see you get eaten by a bug and throw down a cluster bomb. But no, yes, that'll be it. We will be back another time with another video of some kind. I'm sure. Bye-bye.
Bye.